Hello.
Hello.
How are you today?
Hot.
Good. Good. Yeah.
Another wonderful day in paradise.
Can you please present yourself to the audience of Diving Week?
Yeah, first of all, hello Diving Week. We are the Jetlagged,
I'm Claudia,
and my name is Hendrik.
and yeah, we're filmmakers from Germany.
Traveling all around our wonderful planet, and we dive a lot, and want to bring you all those wonderful stories from down there.
Oh, you dive a lot. Oh, wow, that's good. Can you tell us a little bit more about your diving history, experiences, please?
Yeah, actually, I think both of us actually knew that we're going to dive pretty early in our life. So
Yeah.
actually, I started diving as a child, attaching a balloon to a snorkel and try to stay longer in my bathtub. That's something I learned is not really healthy. I wouldn't try that again. But then we actually met in Berlin a long time ago and found out that we both have a passion for the ocean. And so we decided, let's try diving. And so we did it the hard way and learned diving in the Baltic Sea. So green, cold, jellyfish, but
Yeah, it prepared us for everywhere else. So I think it was a good decision to jump into our home waters and then from there travel all over the world.
Then what happened afterwards?
Afterwards, I think the first trip we did was to Curacao in the Caribbean. And well, from there on, we knew that's going to be our new lifestyle. So
Yeah, we loved it from the very first time. Like from the course, we were just completely hooked and couldn't imagine our lives without traveling and diving.
Yeah.
Ever since, it was really like a revelation to me, for sure.
yeah,
To you as
definitely.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like finally we did it.
Yeah. And now we're here.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But you also started filming actually the underwater world.
Yeah. So it all actually came together because I'm a filmmaker. Always been, worked for normal television and film companies, and then we started diving. And so our second idea was, let's take a camera down there.
Yeah.
And well, from there on, it all started. I think we just started with like making small clips about, I don't know, a shark in the Red Sea or a turtle on the Maldives, like 30-second clips. But then that just got bigger and bigger. So we started making films over, like for trips, like also like commercials for liverboards and dive shops. But after a couple of years, we decided to also extend that and went in the direction of shooting underwater documentaries about what's going on down there.
Yeah, after we got into diving and we traveled to so many places, of course we saw the amazing underwater world and just had to film that and take pictures of that. But we also saw the dark side of what's happening to our oceans. So we saw bombed coral reefs, overfished areas, coral bleaching, damaged reefs, all of that. And we couldn't close our eyes to that. So we just had to film and show what's going on in our oceans. But what's also really important for us, we've met all these ocean heroes all around the world, and we started not talking just about the issues, about the threats that are endangering our oceans, but also about the people who are actually already out there making a change, making a difference, and helping to save our oceans. That's very important for us in
Yeah.
our films.
It's always important to actually show that everyone can make an impact. Everyone has an impact, and everyone can make a difference to our oceans. So it's nothing you can't change, and it's like so many small things you can do to actually start making it a better place. Easy, right? Stop using single-use plastic. Stop eating fish.
Yeah, I think for us it was just important to show what's going on, because we as divers, we actually go and have a look under the surface. Most people, they may see some plastic on the surface of the ocean, but they don't really see what's happening down there. They don't see what a bleached coral reef looks like, or a bombed reef, or just an ocean without fish. So for us, we consider ourselves to be ambassadors of the ocean, and it's our duty with our cameras to show what's happening to our planet, to our oceans, to the marine life, but also give people hope and show them that each one of us can make a difference.
Yeah, make you fall in love with the sea, so people care about what they love, and
Yeah.
that's why we are on this mission. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you really like for doing everything like actually bring the ocean to the people. But you're doing so many different initiatives around it. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about one of your favorite ones.
I mean, we're here on Gili Trawangan in Indonesia, like our little hometown, yeah, here at Manta Dive, and
That's where it all started,
that's where it all
actually.
started, where all the love came up. And
Yeah.
they have a really cool project here with the Gili Eco Trust with Delphine. She was already, I think, on your show, and she started or I don't know if she started, but she does the Biorock artificial reef structures here on Gili Trawangan, and that was something we saw, and we immediately know we want to build a Biorock
And make a film about it.
and make
Yeah.
a film about it. And that film went around the whole planet, won a couple of awards out there, inspired people to come here and do the same. So after we built the first Biorock, actually 1 year later, we had a camp with friends who came from all over the world together here to Manta Dive, and we built another one.
Yeah.
So we already did 3 of them, and I think we're gonna have a look in the next couple of days how they're doing now. Yeah.
And then one film we're really, really proud about is our first feature-length documentary film that we finished exactly 1 year ago. It was also filmed in Indonesia, and it tells the story about how Indonesia became the world's largest manta ray sanctuary, which is quite an interesting story because it involves the diving community and just normal people with cameras who became citizen scientists and helped gather data about manta rays, manta ray migration, and so on. And that was also a milestone for us in filmmaking. It's called The Patterns of the Ocean.
You can see it on Vimeo. Just go there, type it in, Patterns of the Ocean, and watch it. And the interesting part about that story is actually that manta rays have individual spot patterns on their belly. Yeah, so if you take a picture of that spot patterns, you can upload those pictures to a database like
Mantamatcha.org, for example.
and then you will find out if that manta ray is actually a new manta ray, so you can actually name it and adopt it, or if that manta ray is already in the database. And in the moment it will be seen again, or someone else is taking a picture, you will get an email back. And as manta rays live around 40 to 50 years, they think, you will get like an email your whole life. It's like they get like their own profile page, kind of like on Facebook. It's really a really cool story. And through those pictures, they found out that manta rays are actually migrating between Komodo and Bali a long distance.
So these were protected areas for manta rays already, but the scientists just found out that the manta rays are actually leaving these protected places and are crossing through like aggressive fishery.
Villages, yeah. And so they made the decision of to protect whole Indonesia for manta rays, and that was a big milestone for manta ray protection worldwide, actually. And so we really want to tell that story because like normal divers, as you said, with like a GoPro or other underwater camera equipment, they just made a difference. And yeah, and I hope that's also going on for other species like turtles and whale sharks. There will be some for sharks as well. So maybe that will help.
Yeah, and even though the protective status is now gained in Indonesia, manta rays still have many secrets. So even though they are protected now, it's still good to send these manta ray ID shots to the databases because the researchers are still learning so much about these animals every month, and there's still so much to explore. And this is what our film talks about, and also our film also looks at well, what happened after the declaration of the sanctuary. Are they really safe now? Is there illegal fishing going on, or something else that may threaten manta rays? So we can only invite you to look it up on Vimeo on demand and watch a nice 45-minute film about some of the most beautiful animals in the ocean, the manta ray.
Yeah.
Have you named actually a manta ray?
We have, yes. A few years ago, we were on the Maldives, and we took these ID shots of 2 manta rays, and they gave us the honor to name these 2 because they were new to their databases back then. And mine is called Pax.
And mine is called P2. A year ago, we started a new technique, like in storytelling. Actually, we started making 360-degree underwater films. So that means that people actually can go on a dive without getting wet, Yeah, so you can, the best way to watch them is like with one of those headsets. It's not really expensive, and you just like put them on, and then you can look around in the picture and choose your own frame. Or you just like take your smartphone up and look around, or you just can scroll through it with your mouse on your computer. But that was a really big step, definitely for me, because the last 20 years I learned how to get things out of the frame, that you get a good picture, and now with the 360 camera, everything is in the frame.
Yeah.
And so we had this really, really cool project coming up together with the ZMT, the Center of Marine Tropical Research in Germany. They asked us to make a film about coral reef. And actually that film is it's a 6 minute film. It's also in Bahasa, Indonesia. It's in English out there and in German, and hopefully it's coming out in Spanish and all other languages as well. And they took this film here to Indonesia and showed it to thousands of people, like normal people, policemen on the street, women in the supermarket, school classes, and the reactions and the emotional reactions we got was it was just amazing. So we're still traveling with that film around the world. Just been to San Francisco on the International Ocean Film Festival with it. Showed it to 400 people there. And it's just incredible how the people react. So it's for them. It's actually, if you're not diving or you don't have any relation to the water, that's the closest you can get to actually experience a dive on a really, really nice coral reef. And we had one woman, she wasn't able to swim, and so she took that headset off, had some tears in her eyes, and I just said like, she was like so thankful, and I just said like, please watch it again. Yeah. And like children are starting to touch the turtle, or they try to swim, and it's just wonderful to see that. I just can encourage all of you guys to check that film out. Also on our homepage, thejetlagged.com, it's all on there, and you can spread the word with that.
Yeah, and it's really a great way to bring the ocean to the people. So that film was shown to people who maybe don't even know to swim. They will never get the chance to travel to a place like Raja Ampat in Indonesia or similar places. They, there's just no way they could ever see that in real, and that VR experience is bringing it to them and giving them an immersive experience that feels as close as you can get to being there yourself. So it's a powerful tool for education, we think. Children, adults alike. It's just a complete different emotional engagement people get when they dive into these worlds using a headset. So we're looking forward to create more films. It's technically it's also another step because it's a completely different camera setup, and it involves a lot of post production, stitching, quite complicated and quite time consuming. But we think it's worth it because the reactions of the people are just so intense.
Yeah, and the headsets actually look like dive masks.
Yeah.
So the experience is actually like going on a dive.
Yeah. So we did one film about the coral reefs and what threatens them and how we can save them. And the next project we're working on is about plastic pollution. So we'll be filming around this island and other places as well. And then we'll create another short educational film, well, to show our addiction to single-use plastic and the effects it has on land and in the ocean, and which steps we can take to improve our behavior and get rid of our intensive use of plastic that we don't need. Well, our name is the Jetlagged, and then the slogan is Ocean Adventures from the Polar Circle to the Equator. And we're actually taking it serious. So, as much as we love diving in the tropics, diving on in these warm waters, beautiful coral reefs full of fish, we also dive in cold water. And we've actually been to Iceland twice, filming there, diving there. And that's something really different. It's quite spectacular. So I think everybody heard about that Silfra crack, that fissure in the ground, which is filled with fresh water.
Yummy.
It's perfect to drink. It's been filtered through rock for 70 years before it comes out in this fissure, and that was something special. That's really, really different. So we enjoyed that a lot, and then also diving in the north of Iceland in a fjord which has hydrothermal vents. So it's a very active island when it comes to volcanoes, earthquakes, and so on. And they have these little chimneys underwater where hot water is coming out of the ground with minerals and building these little towers. That was something really out of the world for us.
But I definitely also like my tropical waters.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's always good to go to cold waters with a dry suit, but jumping into a coral reef is always spectacular. But it's hard to say what's like our favorite place. It depends on what you want. I mean, there's like always that deep, rich, and hard current, and you're hanging in there with your reef hook, and the manta rays, like oceanic manta rays, are flying by. We're talking about like 7-meter big animals who cover the sun over you. But on the other hand, we really enjoy to do muck diving as well.
Yeah.
So we have there's Lembe, or just here in Gili Trawangan, we just the Seahorse Bay, just like over there in Lombok, and you just have your head stuck into black sand and go for critters that are that size. So it always depends on what you want, and that's the cool thing about diving. Every dive is different, and you have no idea what's going to happen next. So, and everything can happen. So every dive is a new adventure, and there are like so many cool places to go diving. I mean, like Malta in the Mediterranean. There's Gozo. They have one dive site I really enjoy always. It's called Inland Sea. It's like a small inland sea, and there's a crack in the wall, and it's like 40 meters long, and you dive through it, complete darkness, and then you see this thin line of blue, and all of a sudden you go through it. It's like a birth, and then the whole ocean just opens and wonderful blue colors, and it's like also that is like incredible. Yeah. So
I mean, I think when you start diving, you just realize you explore a complete different part of our world. It's 70% is the ocean, so we gain 70% of area to explore, and we are able to see worlds that non-divers don't get to see. So and so diverse down there, so much to explore. So
yeah, it's not planet Earth, it's planet water in the end, and we're divers, so we are not afraid of rising sea levels.
Any message
diving in Venice maybe at some point.
Yeah, or in Hamburg, you never know. Yeah.
Any message you would like to send to the diving queen?
I think like most of you of the audience out there is already diving. Yeah, so just go out there, keep it up, spread the word about how wonderful it is, and if you're not diving, maybe start with it. Yeah, it's definitely a life-changing experience, and it's just breathtaking. Like I remember my first my open water dive, and I was in a pool, or we were in a pool, and you just realize after 45 minutes that you are actually 45 minutes underwater, and
not breathing the air
not
outside.
Breathing out the air outside. It's just
Yeah.
incredible. Just like go out there, fall in love with the sea, and make it a better planet.
Yeah, I think my wish is that the diving community becomes the forefront of marine conservation, because our eyes are in the water all the time. We see what's happening, and we should tell our non-diving friends, family members, people out there that the oceans are threatened. We have to take care of them, and soon. So that's my wish, that we are all ambassadors of the ocean and fight for its protection.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.